be somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you. It gives that person a little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better. Is she strong enough to do this? Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire, which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
This feels a lot like hell.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. And this is like a continuation of what's going on in the fires in LA/California, because obviously we know the Democratic powers at B are the reasons why everything is going down. Now, of course, Gavin Newsom and a lot of other news agencies or Democrats are trying to say, oh, stop politicizing it, because it's not supposed to be politicized. Normally, in cases like this, yes. But unfortunately, for us normal folk, you're the exact reason onto why this is happening. You're the ones that cut $20 million, or close to $20 million, to the fire department, making them seize action and do some of the things that needed to be done. And then you guys are also the ones that were not trying to do proper clearing to save a smelt, a stupid tiny fish. So please tell me onto why all of this is mismanaged and why we shouldn't blame you guys, because this is the reason why this is happening. It's really astonishing, really. And of course, what we have here, my friends, is a few of the extra things. Now, what we have is a resident, a concerned woman, has gone on into Gavin Newsom, or New Scum, because that's what a proper name for him. And he just doesn't give her any answers. And he kind of slither away because he doesn't have any actual answers to the woman's problems. Neither of these Democrats do, because one thing, they just can't manage anything at all. They refuse to fix things that are in with their eye view. They'll get actual good advice from other people around them, such as Donald Trump and other people, and they refuse to listen to them. And then we're all surprised when a horrible tragedy such as this happens, and they just don't want to respond to the actual truth. So here we go with this lady, really going after him.
Got a second? Governor, I live here, Governor. That was my daughter's school, Governor. Please tell me what you're going to do. I'm not going to hurt him, I promise.
I'm literally talking to the president right now to specifically answer the question of what we can do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your call? Because I don't believe it.
I'm sorry. There's literally, I've tried 5 times. That's why I'm walking around to make the call.
Why is the president not taking your call?
Because it's not going through. So
Why?
I have to get cell service.
So let's get it. Let's get it. I want to be here when you call the president.
I appreciate it. I'm doing that right now. And it's to immediately get reimbursements, individual assistance, and to help you. I'm devastated for you. I'm so sorry, especially for your daughter. I have 4 kids. Losing the school.
Everyone who went to school there, they lost their homes. They lost 2 homes because they were living in one and building another. Governor, please tell me, what are you going to do with the president right now?
We're getting the resources to help rebuild.
Why was there no water in the hydrants, Governor?
That's all literally.
Is it going to be different next time?
It has to be. Has to be. Of course.
What are you going to do?
I'm doing
to
everything
fill the
I
hydrants. I would fill them up personally. You know that.
I literally have.
I would fill up the hydrants myself.
I understand.
But would you do that?
I would do whatever I can.
But you're not. I see the. Do you know there's water dripping over there, Governor? There's water coming out there. You can use it.
I appreciate it. I'm going to make the call to address everything I can right now, including making sure people are safe.
I'd like to make sure you do. Can I have an opportunity to at least tell people you're doing what you're saying you're doing? Could somebody have a contact? Can I have your contact information?
Right there.
Yeah, so that's the actual leadership of this state, right, of California, because the leadership is just like, oh, I'm calling the president. I'll get on it. Yeah, that's the leadership. It's just completely astounding on how things are turning out here in this country, in this state, because the lack of leadership, the lack lack of accountability is my kryptonite, so therefore we're just not going to do anything. And then when of course they're confronted like the adults, they act like children. Even the woman here is not very confident on his leadership, considering like I don't believe you because this has been happening since you have been in office, since you've been governor of California for the past 4 years. What is going to change? And now some of the worst things have happened to us, and now we really need it. I think Gavin Newsom's time is up. If you're having people come up to you as residents and saying, listen, there's a problem here, you got to do something, and you don't have an answer, it's a huge issue. And what we have here is good old Mayor Karen Bass, the one that decided to defund $17 million from the fire department. Yeah, this highly intelligent individual here has gone out and pretty much said there were no reductions that would have impacted the situation that we have been dealing with. It's most important to understand that we were in rough and tough budgetary times, and the impact of our budget really did not impact what we've been going through over the past few days, which is hilarious considering $17 million is an insane amount of money. All right, you can pay a lot of firefighters, departments, and things quite easily with $17 million. But of course, as I said, you also are wanting to do more. You want to do $23 million. But of course, accountability is our kryptonite.
We heard from firefighters even on the front lines expressing frustrations about, obviously it's a challenge right now. They're bringing in firefighters from all across the Western region. But can you address the criticism now over the budget issue and the slashing, $17 million slashing
I
of
think
the budget?
if you go back and look at the reductions that were made, there were no reductions that were made that would have impacted the situation that we were dealing with over the last couple of days. And then there was a little bit of confusion because money was allocated to be distributed later on, which was actually going to support salaries and other parts of the fire department that were distributed a little later. So I think it's most important to understand that we were in tough budgetary times. Everybody knew that. But that the impact of our budget really did not impact what we've been going through over the last few days. Again, back to the unprecedented windstorm, when at such ferocity that we haven't seen in years, is the context in which we were dealing with it. Thank you.
Okay, so this lady is stupid. Now, can you say that the windstorms were unprecedented or unpredictable or stuff like that, right? Okay, we could all say that. But here's the thing. The windstorms in California are all known throughout of Southern California, and even I would say Northern California. When you live here, you get fierce winds. Now, not all over California you get fierce winds. If you go more Northern California, it's not that crazy of a deal. Normally, we go with Northern. But if you're in the middle of California, or if you're in Southern California especially, and I have a friend that actually lives in SD or San Diego, they get very, very strong winds. And even if you go into some other places like Los Banos or some other place, still Northern California, but, still in that valley area, you get heavy winds. This is a normal thing to expect in California. You just get heavy winds in this state. So you have to expect during fire season, which is not really fire season right now, this is crazy fire, but during this time that there are going to be heavy winds. We're in winter, so you should expect some sort of heavy wind or anything of the sort, like rain or what have you, to maybe have heavy rains in the process. So this is not something that should be out of the blue, and you were completely left for Ghana, which is not an explanation. So you remove $20 million from essentially from the fire department, and you have the audacity to say, "Oh, the judges would have done anything." $20 million can easily pay for about at least 30 of these firefighters' salaries because of a base. Even if you go with $100K per year with those guys, you wouldn't reach $20 million along with some of the other things that would be going on there. So that's not an excuse. So that means you have more firefighters for the job, and you would have more people be able to do things. So you're flat out lying here. And again, we have this individual, this person here. I had to make a point because this person has said here that, oh, well, the fire, if you got to do a fire, it's your fault, right? Like, it's your fault that we got into this mess, right? You should have been in there in the first place. I always come to thought was, if I'm in a fire and I'm an elderly person and some type of like beam or whatever falls down, you're blaming me for being in a place where I can't get myself out because a beam falls on you. These can happen. It's not like a incapable thing. There are also people that can't walk. There are people that, a spontaneous fire happens, they can't move out, or maybe they're unconscious from asphyxiation and you have to go rescue them because, the fire. So the fact that this woman has said this is completely insane. And we have this here. LA Department of Water and Power CEO Janice Kunis makes $750,000 per year. Let's you explain how LA ran out of water one job.
The first tank about 4:45 p.m. yesterday. We ran out of water on the second tank about 8:30 p.m. and the third tank about 3 a.m. this morning. Those tanks help with the pressure on the fire hydrants and the hills of Palisades. And because we were pushing so much water in our trunk line, and so much water was being used before it can get to the tanks, we were not able to fill the tanks fast enough. So the consumption of water was faster than we can provide water in our trunk line. So I want to make sure that you understand there's water on the trunk line. It just cannot get up the hill because we cannot fill the tanks fast enough.
What is the number of hydrants that could not get water because of these pressure issues? What percentage of the system in Pacific Palisades wasn't getting service at that point?
We were trying to keep water at all altitudes on the Palisades, and I think about 3 in the morning, that's when the hydrants went dry above the Brentwood area. We are able to push water on that trunk line on the east side of that. And we have some water on higher elevations, 16 to 18,000, but at 3,000, at 3 a.m., all of the fire hydrants went dry in the Palisades. What are we doing now? We're sending about 20 water tanks for our construction crews full of water to support the fire department. We identify other areas in our system where our tankers can refill. It takes about 30 minutes to refill about 4,000 gallons of water, and we're constantly moving that water to the fire department to get them as much water as we can. For the people on zip code 90272, because we're pushing the water system so hard, our water quality is decreasing. So we're gonna be issuing a boil water notice this morning, and that will extend for about 48 hours. The water quality is low. We have a lot of ash in the system. And so please, if you're gonna be drinking water, you need to boil the water. Those boiled waters will continue to increase as the system starts restoring.
This woman is incompetent. Like, again, it's just insane. And of course, we have this here. The big icing on the cake, guys. When the mayor is asked these questions, when the mayor is asked to do something, she obviously is silent about it.
Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today? Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today? Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position? Do you owe citizens an...
Yeah, so there's your Democratic leadership. Getting asked very important questions, and of course, remaining silent on the whole matter. Of course, we have this here. Adam Carolla says he was rejected from the LA Fire Department because of his race. We'll get into that in another video because I don't want this video to be too long. But, again, we have this here, right? This is how a DEI can create a stronger fire department. And it's quite interesting that all this is just coming out. Sorry this video is being so long, but there's so much information to get out in the past day that I have not been reporting. So what we have here is how the DEI can create a stronger fire department. We'll get to this shortly, but I want to show you guys a few other things here. We have Trump calls on Gavin Newsom to resign as deadly LA fires devastate California. This is all his fault. So this is what Trump had to say about it in this way. So let's go.
Get Gavin Newsom to allow water to come. You'd have tremendous water up there. They send it out to the Pacific because they're trying to protect a tiny little fish, which is in other areas, by the way, called the smelt. And for the sake of the smelt, they have no water. They had no water in the fire hydrants today in Los Angeles. It was a terrible thing. And we're going to get that done. It's going to finally be done. I got it done from the federal side, and he didn't want to sign it, but it's not going to happen again like that. There's no reason. Can you imagine? You have farmers that don't have any water in California. They have plenty of water. They don't have a drought. They send it out to the Pacific, and it's crazy. So what's happening in California is a true tragedy.
Yeah, so you have that there. It's not. It's like these people just don't care, right? These Democrats don't care. They want to push their agenda, and Anna Kasparian has said it very beautifully, and she has gone out to say that California, and especially LA, is controlled by Democrats. They are responsible. No more passing the buck. Our mayor, who was in Ghana as fires exploded in our city, cut the fire budget by $17 million. Endless amounts of money funneled to BS scammer homeless profits. We're the highest tax, yet we have encampments and squalor everywhere. Even worse, we don't have enough firefighters to respond to the absolute disaster we're experiencing right now. Rather than conserve the record rain we got last year, we just drained it into the ocean. We are a failing city run by a sick excuse for local government. You want to radicalize people against the modern Democratic Party? Send them to LA. I 100% agree with Anna Kasparian here. I think that these people are going to wake up. They're going to wake up in a very, very rude awakening, and the people of LA are understanding on how bad these Democrats are running their state, how bad they're running their city. And it's at every single office, everywhere. You cannot say it's Republican. You cannot say it's Republican because it's controlled by Democrats. All of California is controlled by Democrats. So you can't say, oh, it's the Republicans, oh, it's Trump. No, you can't say that here. It's controlled by Democrats. Trump tried to help. We have a governor that didn't listen, and now there's a fire and destroying all of LA because you guys are horribly incompetent. Horribly incompetent. And you have nothing but yourselves to blame here, and we're going to go directly to hear how the DEI can create a stronger fire department. This will be the end of this video. Until further notice.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI, are more than just words. They represent a framework for creating fair and equitable environments in the fire service where everyone has a seat at the table. But what do these concepts truly mean, and how do they work together to build stronger fire departments? Diversity is the foundation. It's about recognizing and embracing the different backgrounds, perspectives, and experiences that make up a community. In the fire service, this means having a workforce that reflects the community it serves, bringing in different ideas, approaches, and solutions to solve complex problems. But diversity alone isn't enough. Equity ensures that all members of the team have equal access to opportunities, resources, and support. Unlike equality, where everyone gets the same thing, equity recognizes that people have different needs and works to provide what they require to succeed. In practice, equity means addressing systemic barriers and providing personalized tools and resources to help each individual thrive. Whether it's hiring practices or access to training and development, equity creates an environment where everyone can grow and achieve success. Inclusion, the ultimate goal, is about creating a culture where every team member feels valued, respected, and supported. It's not just about being part of the team. It's about belonging. Inclusion ensures that diverse voices are heard, respected, and considered in decision-making. It fosters an environment where individuals can be their authentic selves without fear of exclusion or discrimination. Together, diversity, equity, and inclusion form the pillars of a stronger, more effective fire department. By embracing these values, we can create workplaces where everyone has an opportunity to succeed and where our communities are better served. Let's work together to build an inclusive future, one where every individual has the chance to thrive.
The problem with this is it's a very stupid notion, right? It's an incredibly stupid notion. And as we have this here, Adokoro says he was rejected from the LA Fire Department because of his race, which we'll get to that later in another video. But again, this is something that that happens across the country. You can't have equity in anything. You need the best people for the job. If you're hiring somebody that is 100 pounds and they can't pick you up, they're a detriment to you. The whole point of being a firefighter is to be able to pick up people from the actual building that they're being burned alive in and trying to rescue them so they don't die. If you get people that are incompetent or unable to pick people up, that's a problem. Like for me being in the firefighters, look at me. Do I look like I can pick up a person that's 200 pounds? No, I would not be a good candidate to be in a firefighter role at all. I understand this, and that's perfectly fine if I, for whatever God apparent reason, went to go and apply for a firefighter job that I was denied because I'm not capable of doing the things that some of these other firefighters can do. Now, can I beef up and, then apply? Sure, because then I would meet the requirements. But you cannot be having incompetent, incapable people entering the fire department or firefighters and just having people die because it's all for equity, because you want to be fair and have all these other things. It's stupid, and declining people because of a race or whatever is also asinine. So that's what we have here. And this is the stupidity of the fire department in LA, and these things need to be destroyed. And these people are paying a heavy, heavy, heavy price for these DEI things and all this other BS and environmentalists, because obviously these are things that are a bigger concern than saving people's lives. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, type, share. As always, take care, my friends.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted, because it's algorithmic disease, the social media.